24岁
Money and the modern Chinese woman, from digital age princesses who spend hundreds of millions of dong each month to women who've been shattered, now rebuilding their lives with nothing but their own hearts. Beneath the spotlight are not glamorous tales, but raw collisions between expectations, reality, and hidden scars. 24 Princess Joy Mei has reached a tragic conclusion. Modern men are simply not good enough. They either lack money, or worse, taste. She, on the other hand, a once-in-a-generation beauty, a proud graduate of Columbia University, and someone so intimidating that 99% of men can only kneel in quiet inferiority. Maybe I'm still single because I'm too excellent. You know, it's lonely at the top. Her real name? Dong Ni. Soft as a poem, sharp as her standards. With a wealthy background and unconditional parental pampering, her spending habits aren't average. They're aspirational for most families. I have high standards when it comes to consumption. My shampoo must be from the brand I love. My mineral water? Imported, of course. And my bed sheets? Only heavyweight Egyptian cotton. And while every cent comes from her parents, Dongni sees nothing wrong with that. To her, money is just a number that should never fall below USD 8,000 a month. If food and housing aren't included, my allowance ranges from USD 1,000 to 8,000 per month. I'd like to maintain this standard in the future too. Naturally, a woman of such rare excellence has equally rare requirements for a partner, which, to be honest, left the matchmaking team gasping for air. But after 1,000 hopefuls were tossed aside, one brave soul emerged from the ashes. Cheng Songda, 25. Born and raised in Beijing, graduated from the University of Southern California. Just 25, Cheng Songda was already a success story, a rising star in retail for a major sports brand with an annual income in the six figures. With overseas experience from USC and a promising career, he seemed like the perfect match. So the show paired him with the one and only Dong Ni. From the moment he saw her, he was impressed. Beauty? Check. Aura? Double check. Trying to lighten the mood, he greeted her with what he thought was a light-hearted line. "Good to see you again, Columbia's finest." He meant it as a compliment. She received it like a personal insult. "I don't really like that nickname." Songda stood there, muscles frozen, smile fading. She continued, "First time we meet, and you don't even remember my name? Just calling me a Columbia grad? That's how you address me?" Trying to recover, he threw the ball back. "But didn't you put Columbia graduate as the very first frame of your intro video?" Her answer? "Just because it's first doesn't mean it's most important." Apparently, logic had exited the chat. Still, Songda wasn't discouraged. He asked about her relationship standards. She answered without blinking. "I hope the guy's family background is similar to mine. You know, compatibility matters. It's not about looking down on anyone, it's just reasonable." That one sentence told Songda everything. She wasn't from an average background. This wasn't just a girl with good taste. This was an heiress with expectations. So he gently probed. "When you say compatibility, are you talking about lifestyle or finances?" She answered, "Mostly finances. Because a person's values and attitude toward life, they're heavily shaped by their family environment and education." In Dongni's world, material wealth is the foundation of human character. No wealth, no emotional depth, no potential. And her standard lifestyle? Let's just say it's not exactly minimalist. "I have pretty high consumption habits. My shampoo must be a brand I love. Mineral water, specific label only. Bed sheets, only heavyweight Egyptian cotton. My pillowcases must be silk, no exceptions." She considered these things basic necessities, not luxuries. And although she has no income of her own, everything funded by her parents, she made it clear. "If a boyfriend can't meet this level, I just can't accept it." Songda, for all his confidence, was visibly shaken. His income was good, but shouldering her expenses alone? That felt like walking into a financial ambush. Out of curiosity, he asked what her monthly spending looked like. "If we're not including housing or food, my allowance is about USD 1,000 to 6,000 a month. I don't need a guy to support me. I just want someone who can match my lifestyle, without complaining every time I spend money." Hearing USD 6,000 per month as standard spending, Songda silently gasped. Reality was hitting fast. His bank account was waving a white flag. But still, she was beautiful, cultured, captivating. He decided to try one last time. What if a guy doesn't meet your income level but shares your spending philosophy? Her answer? Absolutely not. That's just pretending to be rich, acting like a big shot without the wallet to back it up. That's just another form of fraud. She wasn't finished. I've never had a wish go unfulfilled. Whatever I wanted growing up, my parents gave it to me. Teachers, tutors, anything I asked for. I've never heard the word no, so I don't plan on starting now. At that point, Songda's desire gave way to reason. He realized he wasn't just up against wealth. He was up against a worldview. I know I don't meet the hardware requirements. And honestly, our environments are just too different. We see the world in completely different ways. In the end, he walked away. Not because he wasn't successful, but because he finally understood. Real compatibility isn't just about matching incomes, it's about matching values. She didn't need a boyfriend, she needed a sponsor. But what started as a date ended as a financial negotiation gone wrong. So we ask you, when love sounds like a luxury brand pitch, and compatibility comes with a credit check, is anyone still dating for the heart? Or is everyone just trying to marry into lifestyle packages? V3 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 Video 3 beautiful, broke, and ready to marry for a price. At 27, she was stunning, soft-spoken, picture-perfect, and apparently desperate to get married. Fast. Her name? Jung Chin. Her strategy? Simple. As long as he meets my financial standards, I don't care about age or looks. Yes, she said that. Love, chemistry, common values, optional. What mattered was the bank balance. She claimed she wasn't picky, just practical. My ideal man earns between USD 60,000 to 90,000 per year. Anything less? Not interested. Why? Because only a man earning millions annually could afford her lifestyle. Especially the USD 90,000 she expected as yearly pocket money. And what did she bring to the table? Her answer? A pretty face, a sweet personality, and a belief that happiness is all that matters. Zhang Qin, 27, held a vocational diploma. She trained to become a kindergarten teacher, but quit the moment she realized the job was, in her words, too dull. Too routine. Not the kind of freedom I wanted. Instead, she became a live stream host on Taobao, where thousands of fans flood her screen with compliments. So beautiful. You're a goddess. And slowly she began to believe it. After a while, you develop this mindset, like, I'm really special, I deserve luxury. To feed that illusion, she turned to high-end fashion and luxury brands. Designer bags, premium skincare, haute couture outfits, all for the camera. And as her image inflated, so did her credit card bill. Unable to keep up with her own expenses, she did what any self-proclaimed princess would do. She set out to find a millionaire boyfriend. I'm not looking for someone to build a life with, I need someone who can afford the one I've already imagined. So she joined a dating show. Her standards were laid out like an investment portfolio. The producers were skeptical, but intrigued. And despite knowing her criteria bordered on fantasy, they arranged her first blind date. Would you date someone who calls pocket money USD 90,000 a year? Who replaces ambition with entitlement? And swaps love for luxury? Zhang Qin didn't ask for a partner. She asked for a financial savior, wrapped in a wedding tux. In a world where love now comes with a price tag, we have to ask, is she just aiming high or selling herself short? Comment below. Is this the future of dating? Or just a luxury-fueled fantasy gone too far? Don't forget to subscribe for more real-life dramas where dating, money, and delusion meet. If you're still watching, comment 1 so I know you're still with me. She rejected him because his hair was too oily. Mr. Yu, 40 years old. Annual income, over USD 42,000. Profession, brand and channel manager at a mid-sized company. From the moment he laid eyes on Zhang Qin, he was completely captivated by her beauty. Eager to impress, he put on a full performance, philosophizing about life, love, and personal growth, pulling out every mature man card he had. But all he got in return? A cold stare, and zero enthusiasm. Trying to find common ground, he brought up stocks, something Zhang Qin had casually mentioned interest in. I dabble in that too, he said. Unfortunately, his dabbling had ended in disaster. He didn't just lose a little money. He lost a 200-square-meter house. Now he lives in a 70-square-meter apartment, a far cry from luxury. Needless to say, Mr. Yu's financial portfolio didn't impress the princess. Zhang Qin was visibly uncomfortable, and Mr. Pafuel, you could read the room. So maybe we wrap this up early? She agreed. Yeah, I think we're done here. Even the host couldn't argue. There was no point in continuing. But the excuse Zhang Qin gave for rejecting him, it was so absurd, it deserved a standing ovation. I don't like oily hair, she said. And I'm not a fan of cologne either. Because of course, when the income's too low, blame the shampoo. To save face, she had to make sure it didn't look like she was rejecting him for being poor. But no one was buying it. Still, the show gave her another chance. Lesson learned. This time, they brought out someone even richer. Because when love isn't working, upgrade the wallet. He lost a mansion in the stock market. She lost interest over hair oil. In today's dating game, rejection isn't always about compatibility. Sometimes, it's just about surface excuses covering deeper material expectations. So tell us, if he had the mansion, would the shampoo still matter? Would you date someone who smelled wrong? Or are we all just sniffing for the scent of money?
方荣
When the perfume smells right, and so does the bank account. Fang Rong, 35, born and raised in Hangzhou. Currently self-employed. Even in a startup phase, his annual income still sits comfortably over USD 140,000. On paper, a solid catch, but in Zhang Qin's eyes, it's barely acceptable. Yes, even six figures didn't earn him an enthusiastic nod. But Fang Rong wasn't fazed. Charming, witty, and well-spoken, he leaned into humor and personality. 3 sentences in, Jine was laughing like she'd just met Mr. Right. Suddenly all her preferences flew out the window. Hey, do you wear cologne? Yeah. You can smell it? What brand is it? She asked, grinning. This, from the same woman who minutes earlier had declared, I hate perfume. Apparently, money really does change how something smells, because now, it wasn't offensive. It was contextually charming. It depends on the guy, she giggled. The person, the vibe, the setting. Classic case of, it's not the cologne, it's the cash. The two chatted like they'd known each other for years. When Fang learned Zhang Qin was also a livestream host, he casually revealed his colorful past. Oh yeah, I've dated a few streamers. Spent tens of thousands on them, actually. Never even met some of them. The kind of statement that would have most women walking out? Not Zhang Qin. Instead, her interest intensified. That's interesting, she said, eyes twinkling. Interesting? The host asked. At what point exactly? You know, when he said all that, she laughed. Romantic? No. Entertaining? Apparently, yes. By the end of the date, Zhang Qin even took the initiative to add Fang Rong on social media, a bold move from someone who once claimed to be selective. This match seemed promising, on the surface. But, for those of us watching, it felt like a drama waiting to explode. Because yes, material comfort is a foundation for marriage. But without love, it's just a transaction dressed as a wedding. He wore the right cologne, he had the right income, he knew the right jokes, and just like that, the princess forgot all her deal breakers. So here's the real question. Does love still matter? Or have we all agreed to replace it with charm, cash, and cologne? Comment below. Would you fall for someone after they told you they spent tens of thousands on strangers? And don't forget to subscribe for more relationship roller coasters, where expectations, money, and modern romance collide.
婚姻
V6, V6, VVV, V6, 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 VVV. 6V Video 6. She rejected dozens of men, but the real reason left everyone speechless. At 32, Hong Lian walked into the 100-person matchmaking event like she owned the room. With her graceful figure and striking looks, she instantly became the center of attention. Men rushed to her, one after another. Some expressed admiration. Others went straight for the date request. And just as quickly, her confidence soared. Then she turned to the crowd and asked, with a smirk, "That's it? Anyone else want to ask me out? No more?" The room fell silent. The men who had just confessed their interest now looked like they wanted to vanish. Others backed away, unsure what just happened. The real question on everyone's mind. Where did she get that kind of confidence? Who gave her the courage to act like the queen of a dating auction? Her name? Hong Lian. Age? 32. After graduating university at 19, she left her hometown alone and headed to the big city. No safety net, no support. To survive, she tutored, worked as a tour guide, even skipped going home for Lunar New Year, just to save money. But years of relentless hard work paid off. With her beauty, ambition, and intelligence, she eventually made it, and now serves as the director of TV distribution at a top international media firm. Success brought attention, plenty of it. I've never lacked suitors, she said, but none of them made me feel safe enough to imagine forever. That fear of losing love? It came from a relationship she'd rather erase. 6 years ago, she was scammed, emotionally and financially. He took my money while my father was sick. Her heart was broken, her savings were gone, and her will to live almost disappeared with them. I remember standing there, ready to give up, but in that moment I saw my parents in my mind. That thought pulled her back. I told myself, I may never believe in love again, but I can't leave my parents behind. Since then, Honglian locked away her heart. She poured herself into work and into caring for her aging mother. But the pain lingers. A year before my father passed, he said, I hope someone will take care of you when I'm gone. He died without seeing her married, and now she lives with that guilt. I don't want my mom to leave this world with the same regret. She's successful now, independent, strong, but when she speaks of her father, the tears always come. And beneath all that confidence, beneath the elegance and poise, there's still a woman who quietly longs for something simple. I want love, a real kind, someone who truly loves me, who won't leave when things get hard, who won't give up when life gets complicated. To some, she looked arrogant, to others, out of reach. But deep down, she was just someone still waiting for the kind of love that doesn't disappear. So we ask you, behind every too confident woman, is there a past she's hiding? Behind every strong voice, is there a silent wound? Comment below. Is it fair to judge someone's confidence without knowing what broke them first? And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life love stories where strength hides heartbreak and survival meets longing. Too beautiful, too late. The reality of dating at 32. Honglian still longs for love, but at 32 she's officially entered the leftover woman category. A label society doesn't let her forget, which means the dating scene isn't a playground anymore. It's a battlefield. And matchmaking events? No longer optional, they're survival. She's tall, stylish, with striking features and impeccable taste. She radiates the kind of quiet elegance that draws eyes and expectations. Naturally, she stood out at the dating event. And before it even got underway, one man stepped forward to confess his admiration. But he was, to put it plainly, average, very average, and far below Honglian's standards. Not wanting to embarrass him or create a scene, she forced a polite smile and responded, "Okay, dear." A formality, nothing more. She had no intention of pursuing it. Minimal conversation, no spark. Then came a second confession, from another man. Now she was caught in a moment she didn't expect. 2 offers, 0 interest. And so came her now viral line, "Anyone else want to ask me out? No more? Let's just play mahjong then." She laughed, playfully but nervously, trying to keep it light, trying not to offend, trying to hide the truth. She didn't want either of them. "Can I pick no one?" she asked. "Nope," the host replied. "Then can I pick everyone?" she joked. In the end, she chose no one. Walked away from the table with grace and 0 matches. Another failed attempt, another public rejection. But here's the thing, she didn't lose confidence. If anything, she showed more strength than ever. Behind the makeup and tailored dresses, Honglian was still showing up, not because it was easy, but because she refused to settle. Some say she's too picky. Others say she missed her window, but maybe she just knows her worth. In a world where time is currency and age is a countdown, women like Honglian face an impossible question. Should you settle? Or stay single until someone truly sees you? She wants a child, not a husband, the emotional armor of a modern woman. Still determined not to settle, Honglian continued her search, this time through online matchmaking platforms. One site introduced her to a music composition teacher. The two agreed to meet in person, but from the first few sentences it was clear they weren't speaking the same language. He asked, half jokingly, "Your mom doesn't pressure you to get married?" Honglian responded without blinking, "Of course she does. But to her, it's not about whether I marry or divorce. What matters is that I have a child." Because for Honglian, love fades, marriages break, people leave. But a child? That's blood, that's forever, that's the only real connection. To her, emotional security only exists in bloodlines. Spouses can disappear, but a child, that's unconditional. The man tried to respond, saying even the strongest women need protection sometimes. He asked, "Don't you think security comes from being with someone reliable?" Then, Things unraveled. Reliable? She asked. What does that even mean? He fumbled for an answer. I guess it depends. If you think someone who can fight is reliable, then sure, someone who fights is reliable. If it's someone who's gentle and caring, then that's reliability too. His answer was vague, soft, uncertain, and Hong Lian was not impressed. A man should be evaluated by a woman, not by himself, she said. The tension was thick, her presence intense, her questions precise, and he, clearly overwhelmed. Soon after, he excused himself and left. Without finishing the date, Hong Lian summed it up in one sentence. He's too soft, not man enough. He doesn't even know why he wants to get married. But here's the truth. There was no villain in this story. Only two people carrying different definitions of love. To her, marriage is a risk. To him, it's a partnership. And between the two, no one was truly wrong, just completely misaligned. In love, timing matters, but so does emotional bandwidth. So we ask you, should modern women lower their guard, or are they right to raise the bar? Can vulnerability coexist with independence? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more raw and revealing stories, where hope, history, and heartbreak collide. V9 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 Video title. After 40 blind dates, a 36-year-old woman shares 4 brutal lessons every middle-aged woman must know. Hello everyone, this is Meng Meng. Today we're diving into a truth many avoid. In this fast-paced world, age has quietly become society's favorite weapon against women, especially once you cross the age of 35. As if time were the only measure of a woman's worth. But one woman, 36 years old, educated, successful, and single, has been through 40 blind dates and come out the other side with 4 lessons every modern woman must hear. Let's break them down. Lesson number 1, embrace yourself before you chase anyone else. In a world quick to slap the label of leftover woman on anyone past 30, she learned the most important relationship is the one with herself. Age, just a number. What matters more is what that number represents. The wisdom, the experiences, the grace you carry. Whether it's building a career, cultivating a hobby, or simply enjoying your own company, she's learned that true fulfillment starts within, not in someone else's approval. Lesson number 2, emotional independence is power. After dozens of failed dates, she realized love should add to your life, not fix it. She no longer searched for a shoulder to lean on. Instead, she invested in herself, her passions, her peace, her progress. Romance, she decided, should be the cherry on top, not the foundation. Because when you're whole on your own, you stop accepting people who treat you like you're half. Lesson number 3, choose wisely, not desperately. 40 dates taught her one brutal truth: it's better to wait than to settle. She stopped focusing on flashy credentials, the car, the title, the empty charm. Instead, she looked for values, for emotional maturity, for someone whose soul actually resonated with hers. Marriage isn't about 2 resumes, it's about 2 hearts walking in the same direction, through storms, not just sunshine. Lesson number 4, keep growing. No matter your age, middle age isn't the finish line, it's the second act. She pursued new skills, explored new careers, stayed active, curious, and open. Because if your mind stays young, your life stays exciting. She rejected the lie that youth equals value. Instead, she chose to believe that growth has no expiration date. China social trends, final reflection. In today's world, where pressure piles on as birthdays tick by, this woman chose to rewrite the narrative. She didn't lower her standards, she raised her self-worth. And maybe that's the real takeaway. Should middle-aged women keep chasing love, or start chasing themselves? Is it better to wait for the right person, or settle for a timely one? V1V1V1V1V1V1V1V1V1. When love, money, and status collide. Modern Chinese women, each with a different journey, yet all reflecting the same bitter reality. In a society where beauty is currency, bank accounts measure love, and age draws a line under hope, women are not just searching for a partner. They are fighting to reclaim the right to define their own worth. From self-proclaimed princesses who spend money like air and judge suitors by the size of their savings, to women who've been broken, betrayed, and still stood back up, learning to love themselves first. From a girl who wants a child but not a husband, to a 36-year-old woman who views love as an emotional equation that demands logic. They all reveal one truth. Love today is no longer pure. It's a crossroads of personal expectations, financial realities, and emotional scars.